Yo, what is up YouTube? It's your boy Legend and I am back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. What if Naruto was sent to the Akame got killed universe part 9? Now, I'm not gonna lie you guys. I've been getting a tad bit lazy with the content. So, I'm going to fix all of that and it starts right now with this video. We're still going to be doing the AI voices when I read other people's what ifs, but with mine, we do my voice. Alright? But now, the like goal for the video is going to be 7 likes. That's the like goal. If we could get more, that would be phenomenal. But without further ado, let's just get into this intro so we can start this what if. The soft tick of a grand gilded clock was the only sound in the room, its rhythmic pulse barely audible beneath the muffled rush of water behind the closed bathroom door. Naruto sat stiffly on the edge of the massive king-sized bed, its silk sheets pristine and far too comfortable for his current state of mind. The bedroom around him was lavish, obscenely so. The dark velvet curtains were drawn, allowing only slivers of moonlight to sneak through and cast pale lines across the gleaming marble floor. Ornate pillars lined the walls, their surfaces etched with curling frost patterns. Everything about the room screamed power, wealth, and control. And Naruto didn't belong here. His hands were braced on his knees, head lowered, eyes glued to the floor like it might offer some answers, but all he could feel was the cold metal collar snug around his neck, a silent, mocking reminder of how the last 24 hours had spiraled into madness. The bathroom door creaked open, Naruto's head snapped up, and for a moment, he forgot how to breathe. Esdeath stepped into the room with the same composed confidence she carried into the battlefield. But now, there was something else in her stride, something slower, heavier, and far more intimate. Her bare feet padded softly across the cold floor. She wore only a white silk robe, loose and short, barely reaching past her lower back, and it was tied snugly around her toned midriff, framing the full swell of her breast with a scandalous amount of exposed cleavage. Beneath the robe, the curve of her hips was unmissable, accentuated by lacy white panties that matched the glint of her teeth when she smiled. Her hair now fell around her shoulders in damp, silky strands that clung to her skin like moonlight over snow. Her blue eyes, slightly darker than his, but equally piercing, locked onto him with unflinching ease. Naruto's jaw clenched. Holy, wow, he muttered without meaning to, immediately turning his head and rubbing at the back of his neck with a hand that trembled slightly. His face burned red, his eyes darting anywhere but at her. Esdeath's soft laughter, melodic and cool, filled the room like a teasing breeze. She crossed the distance with a few slow, swaying steps and sat beside him on the bed. The mattress dipped beneath her weight, the air between them growing thicker. For someone who fights so well and has such confidence when facing others, you seem to lack it now, she said, her voice low and smooth. But all I had to do was sit beside you, and you're already flustered. Naruto tried to look away, but she didn't let him. With a gentle yet firm touch, Esdeath reached out and cupped his chin, turning his face toward hers. Her fingers were cold against his skin, yet oddly soothing. Such strength in battle, she murmured, studying his face as if she were memorizing it. And yet, you lack confidence in moments like this. Naruto's breath caught. Her face was close, too close. He could see every detail. Her slightly curved lashes, the elegant slope of her nose, the fullness of her lips. Her jawline was sharp yet undeniably feminine. Her breath, like winter air, brushed against his skin. It was intoxicating, disarming. He blinked. Realization struck like a kunai to the chest. They were leaning toward each other. She was going to kiss him. Naruto jerked away, his heart pounding in his chest. He scooted back just enough to put space between them. Yet, his eyes were wide. What are you doing? Esdeath blinked, her smile never faltering. Is something wrong, my love? That word, love, it sent an icy chill down Naruto's spine. And it wasn't from her temperature. What do you mean by my love? He asked, genuinely confused. Esdeath tilted her head, her expression sincere. I mean what I said. You're mine. You're my boyfriend now. And soon, we'll be husband and wife. Then, a family. Children perhaps, 2 or 3. She spoke the words as casually as if she were describing the weather. Naruto stared at her, completely dumbfounded. She wasn't joking. He stood up abruptly. I think there's been a misunderstanding. I should go. Esdeath's eyes didn't change, but her body did. In a blur, she was on her feet, intercepting him before he could even take a step. Her hand closed gently, but firmly around his wrist. You can't leave, Naruto, she said softly. If you walk out that door, the palace guards will detain you. I've given them strict orders, and I don't want them to hurt you. I couldn't bear it. Naruto frowned. Her concern sounded genuine, but it felt wrong. There was a strange warmth in her voice, but it wrapped around him like a vice. Why me? He asked, voice low. Because you're strong, she replied without hesitation. Because you excite me, and because I chose you. He exhaled slowly. There was no malice in her tone, no cruelty, but that only made it more unsettling. Just come back to bed, love, Esdeath whispered. Tomorrow, we'll go somewhere else, somewhere quieter. You'll get all the fresh air you want. Without waiting for a response, she gently pulled him back toward the bed. Naruto allowed it, not because he wanted to, but because he needed time to think, to plan. She lay down beside him, wrapping her limbs around his clothed body like ivy around stone. Her skin was cool, her scent icy and sweet, and her presence overwhelmingly intimate. Naruto lay there, stiffly, staring at the ceiling. What the hell have I gotten myself into? As Naruto was thinking, he felt her slender arms tighten around his torso, and her lips pressed against his neck. Instead of thinking about trying to get away, his first thought was about how soft her lips felt. Naruto turned his head to look at her, but he didn't expect her face to be so close to his. And because of her closeness, it caused his breath to hitch. Naruto froze, and Esdeath took advantage of it. She tilted her head up slightly and kissed him. Naruto didn't pull away. He stayed there, and to Esdeath's surprise, he began to kiss her back. Soon, Esdeath was on top of Naruto, and Naruto's hands were on her curvy hips. Slowly, Esdeath began to remove Naruto's shirt. When she finally got it off, she was completely stunned. She's never seen a physique like his before. He was lean, yet muscular, and it set alarm bells off in her head. However, Esdeath chose to ignore the alarm bells in her head. Again, she leaned down and kissed him as her fingers ran through his golden hair. The two broke the kiss, and Esdeath whispered against his lips, "I've never thought I'd actually be in this position with anyone, especially not someone younger than me." As she spoke, Naruto slipped her small robe off of her body, and his breath caught in his throat when he saw Esdeath's nearly naked body. She put the figures of every woman he's seen to shame, only rivaling the figures of Mei, Tsunade, and Shell. Naruto then noticed a tattoo in the center of her chest as he reached up and touched it. "That's my imperial arms. It's what gives me my control over ice." Esdeath then dropped her panties down on the edge of the bed. When Naruto looked down, it was hard for him to peel his eyes away. She had a small patch of ice blue hair above her. Okay, fam. Do I need to read this part any further? I mean, we all know what's about to happen here. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to skip ahead and not read this, that way my channel doesn't get deleted. And then we're going to continue. Alright fam, we are back. Esdeath released a long, pleasured breath. "That was amazing, my love. We have to do that again, and soon." Naruto pulled out of Esdeath and lay down next to her, not realizing the consequences of what he had just done. The next day, the morning sun streamed through the palace windows in golden shafts, gilding the stone corridors with an almost divine glow. The air was crisp, but warm. It touched the exposed skin. In the heart of the capital's grand citadel, Naruto walked hand in hand with the one woman he had no business getting close to, Esdeath. Her fingers lay perfectly between his, her touch icy but comforting. Firm yet intimate. She hadn't let go of him since they woke up, wrapped around him as they slept, then guiding him into the shower with a glint of mischief in her eyes. They'd bathed together beneath steaming water and ivory tiles, Esdeath humming while gently running her fingers through his hair. Naruto had kept his face neutral, even slightly annoyed, but both of them knew the truth. He liked it, maybe even loved it. And that was a problem, a massive one. He wasn't supposed to feel this way. Esdeath was the enemy, a general of the Empire, a butcher in battle, and now his lover. She didn't know he was allied with Night Raid, didn't know that the people she hunted and murdered were the same ones Naruto called comrades. And after last night, after they shared their first time giving themselves to each other completely, it was becoming harder and harder for Naruto to keep his emotions locked away. She was stunning, beautiful beyond reason, confident, intelligent, commanding. And when she looked at him the way she was now, smiling from ear to ear, her eyes alight with joy, he couldn't breathe. The guards stationed throughout the hallways stood at attention as the pair passed. Most kept their heads down, but Naruto could feel their stares, their confusion, their disbelief. Esdeath didn't notice, or didn't care. She was too caught up in her bliss. "Come on, my love," she said sweetly, her grip tightening slightly. "I want you to meet the team I command. We're a few minutes early, so we'll have time to ourselves before they arrive." Naruto forced a chuckle, playing the part. "Sounds fun." She led him through the tall, double doors into a lavish chamber adorned with deep crimson curtains and a polished obsidian table surrounded by high-backed chairs. Once the door shut behind them with a muted thud, Esdeath wasted no time. She turned, eyes gleaming, and pressed him back against the wall with surprising gentleness for someone so strong. Her lips crashed into his, and he melted for just a moment, hands hovering near her waist before clutching her hips with hesitant affection. He should push her away. He should stop this. But he didn't. When she finally pulled back, her lips hovered near his, breath brushing against his skin. "I can't wait for us to start a family together," she whispered. Naruto froze, just for a heartbeat. Then he laughed it off, trying to hide the tightness in his chest. I'm not sure I'm ready for kids yet." Esdeath tilted her head, her smile softening. "That's alright, my love. We'll wait." Before he could respond, the door creaked open. Footsteps filled the room as members of the Jaegers filled in, taking their seats at the table. Naruto followed Esdeath to her chair at the head of the room and stood beside her, trying to mask the storm brewing inside of him. Then, the last one walked in. Her, Seryu Ubiquitous. Naruto's body went rigid. His breath stilled. His eyes dropped to the floor, obscured by shadows, as his chakra swirled low in his belly, coiling like a serpent. He remembered her. He remembered the night she and her beast, Koro, had ambushed Mine and Shell. She had shot Shell through the back, destroying a vertebrae in her spine. How she had Koro try to slowly kill Mine by squeezing her to death. Shell had been paralyzed for a week. Naruto didn't get to kill Seryu that night, but maybe fate was offering him another chance. Sage mode activated in silence, his senses sharpening, nature chakra flowing into him like a tide. He could feel the pulse of everyone in the room, the flicker of emotion, the dark, unstable chaos within Seryu herself. Then she spoke. "I know you," she shrieked, pointing directly at him. "You're evil, a traitor. I will cleanse the world of your filth and serve justice immediately." Before anyone could stop her, she vaulted over the table, her arm transforming mid-air into a massive cannon. She aimed straight at Naruto's chest. Everything moved fast, too fast for any normal eye to follow, but Naruto didn't move. He didn't have to, because Esdeath was already there. Her rapier flashed in the light, so fast it was almost invisible. The blade plunged through Seryu's chest with a sickening crunch, freezing instantly from the point of impact. Seryu gasped, her mouth forming a silent scream as frost began to race along her limbs. "You dare attack my fiancé," Esdeath whispered coldly, her expression devoid of warmth. "In front of me?" Esdeath froze Seryu into a block of ice completely. Koro roared and lunged, but Esdeath turned her head just slightly and shot him a glare so piercing it could have shattered glass. "Out of my sight, you grotesque abomination!" Koro whimpered and collapsed inert. His Tegu bond was broken the moment his master fell. With a spin, Esdeath delivered a fierce kick, shattering Seryu's frozen corpse into 1,000 jagged shards. The room went silent. No one moved, not even Wave. Naruto stood, stunned. staring at where Seryu's remains sparkled like icy glass on the floor. Esdeath turned and pulled him into a tight embrace, burying her face into his chest. "Are you all right, my love?" she whispered, voice trembling with real concern. Naruto slowly nodded, arms lifting to hold her. That was the first time anyone had ever done something like that for him. Protected him. Killed for him. He looked down at the woman in his arms. This ruthless, beautiful, terrifying woman who had just saved him without hesitation. He felt his heart pound painfully in his chest. This is bad, he thought. This is really bad. Because he was starting to love her back. But guys, I'm going to end it off right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. Remember, the like goal for the video is 7 likes. So hit that like button. If we could get more, that'd be nice. But without further ado, I am out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay blessed, fam.